No, ex-military. Works for an NGO now. You got him on the line? Exactly. He's on the ground now, actually. I should really, get back to it.
Of course. Go ahead. Oh, and Kate, send me a note later.
Thanks.
Hello, Nathan? Sorry to keep you waiting, my editor. Where were we?
Hey, you were asking about the guy, the one that went back there, the guy that,
Ah, that's right. And did you know him well?
No, not really. He worked maintenance on our trucks.
He was employed by IDAP?
No, nothing like that. I mean, he just helped us out a few times. Off the book stuff. Guy was a local mechanic. Family business type thing, you know?
I see.
I remember he had a place on the edge of town, not far from our setup. We'd chat from time to time. He's a nice guy, friendly.
And do you know where he was going that day?
To the church.
He was going to church?
No, don't get me wrong. I mean, that place had been abandoned for almost a year, but he was looking for his brother.
At the church?
Yeah, there'd been reports of, pretty brutal firefight up there. He'd heard his brother might have been caught up in it.
Sure, and I'm not quite clear on this. Was his brother still alive?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't think he knew either. Seems like he was on his way to find out.
So, his brother, he was in the army?
Yes and no. It's complicated. You gotta remember it was pretty chaotic back then.
Of course. Okay, let's back up a bit.
Sure.
What complicated the situation?
Just the history of it all. His brother had been a recruit in the Altus Armed Forces, boot camp, basic training, you know. Well, this is back when NATO was still keeping the peace. But after U.S. forces pulled out, apparently he deserted.
Do you know why?
No, just I know they argued a lot about it.
Hello, Kate speaking.
Hey, sorry about that. Call must have dropped. The network out here is garbage.
No problem. It's understandable. Are you still driving?
Yeah, we're not at the town yet. Hold on a sec. Andy, we almost there.
We're, a little ways out. Oh, and we need to make one quick stop, too.
Thanks, bud. So, where'd we get cut off?
You were telling me about the church. The landmine? The accident.
Right, yeah. Well, of course, a civilian casualty like that, particularly, at a church, I guess it kind of refocused our attention here.
Had IDAP been particularly active in the area?
Yeah. I mean, our project had a handful of camps spread across the country. But yeah, I was in the town itself for a few months. It's all different now, though.
How so?
Well, for one thing, IDAP used to be based right in the heart of Rio Castro. Of course, this was all pre-war. I remember, at that time, the local military maintained a checkpoint on the outskirts of town. That was understandable. I mean, the whole area was a kind of Wild West. Big mashup of civilian and guerrilla infrastructure. Disaster waiting to happen, really. I don't know. It's strange to see our camp based there now.
Hey, sorry about the holdup. We're on the way now.
All right, thanks, Andy.
So, what's your role there today?
Now, in general, the provision of aid. There was a lot of damage. IDAP fills the gap. Drinking water, basic medicine, post-war cleanup, in other words.
And on the ground, how does that translate to your work?
It's a mixed bag, like today. Part demining, part unexploded ordnance disposal.
I see.
Heads up, Mac. Almost there.
Got it. Sorry about that. We're arriving now. Give me a sec.
All right, Mac. That's your stuff all laid out here.
Hold on just a sec, Kate. I need to get set up.
Take your time.
All right, then. You got everything? Detector working? You, remember how to switch it on, right?
Yeah, I got it, Andy.
Then you're all set.
Thanks. So for now, I'll just make a note of where the mines are.
Yeah. Take it slow, Mac. We'll let the Bobcat do the heavy lifting later.
Hey, what's up guys, Kev here and welcome back to another video of ARMA 3. And it has been a while that I made a commentary. Well, basically this is the brand new DLC formerly known as Project Orange, and now it's announced that it's Laws of War, basically kind of getting a new faction, the IDAP. It's kind of a sub-faction to the civilians, mostly using or being used, I should say, as a task force for demining, a humanitarian force working alongside NATO, I think AF as well. So yeah, I'm gonna check the mini campaign out. I already uploaded 2 videos of the factions and the gear which has been added. I hope you guys enjoy this one. I think it might be a bit longer, so maybe this will be split up into multiple parts. You can already see the destroyed AAF vehicles here, warning signs for mines, like as the minefield starts here.
Sorry, I forgot to mention, the demining toolkit, totally forgot to pack it up this morning.
That's no big deal. We're just locating the mines for now. Just keep me posted.
Apologies again, it's en route. I'll let you know when it arrives from dispatch.
Question. What happens when you do find a landmine?
Ordinarily, we disarm it, but today, small oversight, we haven't got all our gear right now.
Oh, it's on the way, I hope.
Yeah, it's all good. So long as there aren't any AT mines on the road, we can even deal with this mechanically.
Mechanically?
NATO has a Bobcat, armored vehicle, which we can use. It'll roll over the smaller mines, detonate them. Safer and easier than doing it by hand. Basically, picture a tank with a plow stuck on the end, and, well, you won't be far off.
I've got an AT mine hiding there, thrown together with another AP mine. Can't really spot one, also I want to risk it really. So I'm just gonna continue. Some dirty bouncing betties.
So, since the war's now over, has your own role changed at all?
Yeah, I guess so. Now I'm almost entirely focused on EOD and UXO.
And that's something you did in the military too?
Yeah. That's the thing about mines. War or not, win, lose, they don't go away.
So you see mostly kind of like hybrid minefields. AT mine next to an AP mine, which makes it pretty difficult to get rid of those.
How many minefields are you facing on Altis?
That we know of, 22. 23 including whatever's here. Plus you've got Stratus, another 4 over there, I think.
I see. And can you estimate, roughly, how long it would take to remove them all?
A lot of variables, but cleanup operation of this size, if it's only IDAP, we're talking years.
So I'm quite intrigued about this new DLC, because it's definitely something different. It just shows the side of war, which affects the civilians really the most.
Get nervous?
Yeah, but not when I'm working. It hits you after. Or before.
Especially because the war usually has already ended. But it still affects so many families and lives. So I'm definitely looking forward to this DLC dropping into the main branch, and I also got some really nice new environmental objects which I can use in the editor, because I absolutely love putting so many little details into my missions. So they will come in handy, definitely. I think, oh yeah, up there are a few more. Let's jog up there. Some AP mines here. Right.
Andy, I'm at the barricade.
Cool. And the road?
Yeah, it's what we thought. Dozen or so APs, nothing the old Bobcat can't handle.
What's this?
How well do you remember the town?
You mean before it was destroyed? Hey, quick tidbit for you. Oreo Castro means beautiful castle in the local lingo.
Oh, I didn't know that. Do you speak the language?
Not so much, only with the older generation. Not a problem now, though.
Oh?
Well, Oreo Castro's pretty much a ghost town. Nothing here but remnants of war and a couple of goats. And they aren't exactly great conversationalists.
Well, we got a UXO. A little bit of lag going on here. More memories.
There was a beautiful oak tree here once, 300 years old. Folks used it as a meeting spot. They'd pin notes for one another on the trunk.
No, there's the castle we've been at before. Oh, not the castle, the church. Oh, over here, some native forces. Body bags. Oh,
The church,
damn.
where the mines are, it's sealed off now.
By IDAP?
No, NATO. They lost some guys there in the firefight. One of their EODs is helping clear the place. Hey, Andy.
Yep. What's up?
What's the deal with the church? Can we get in or what?
Sorry, Mac. No dice. NATO's got first dibs. They're bringing their boys home. Bag and tag. Best leave them to it.
I'll come back later.
Some memories over here, but also probably a mine. Hold on, is that a... That's a tripwire mine. Damn. Didn't expect that here. It's nasty
The
stuff.
mechanic you've been telling me about, he and his brother, they'd always lived there.
In the town, you mean? Yeah, as far as I know. The family business, the garage, it kind of kept them rooted.
Oh, it must be him. I love those tripwire mines. Can't get through there. What do we got here?
Huh. Where a camp used to be.
Anything left?
Not much. Few memories, maybe. Just some old boxes here and there.
IDAPs.
Yeah. It was NATO that helped bring them in. Actually, it was one hell of a supply drop.
So, the supply drop, this was when exactly?
Right around the time we saw the ceasefire starting to break down. Must be more than a year ago now.
So, at that time, your camp was in the center of town?
Yeah, things were getting pretty desperate, though. I remember we hadn't been resupplied in months. No food, water, medicine. We were used to issues with logistics, but I don't know, in the end it got so bad U.S. forces prepared an airdrop. Not an easy task considering, but those crates, they really were life and death. That's why we needed somebody on the ground. Someone to make sure they came down okay.
And who was that?
A guy named Adams, part of the NATO peacekeeping force. Close friend of mine, actually.
Adams? He went out alone?
From the way he told it, he may as well have. No, he went along with some new recruits, local bunch. It was his job to show them the ropes.
Right, we need to pick a civil location for the airdrop, I think. We should either go A or B, probably. Actually, I don't know what those mean, if that means like hostile environment or something, so I'm gonna go to Delta.
Something I'm not quite clear on. Why didn't IDAP transport the aid themselves? There must have been a reason.
Yeah, there was. A couple of weeks previously, guerrillas had ambushed a convoy. It was some dissident group out to sabotage the peace talks in Kervala. Anyway, NATO intervened and the whole thing just blew up. A checkpoint was hit. Protesters were fired upon at the MOD.
Yes, we were there. AAN.
And you know how bad it got.
Our movements were limited by the government.
Exactly. And convincing anybody to reassign troops, to escort NGOs, just a total non-starter.
So it seems that there is some sort of combat going on in which you take part in these missions, which is interesting, because I could imagine that only this kind of peacekeeping force gameplay would get a bit boring, maybe, depending on how the story is told. So this is kind of cool that we also get to step into another role. Okay,
Tell me more about your friend. He was your liaison, right?
Right. But Adams and I had a history. We'd met on a previous deployment. This guy was your typical Army lifer. Cynical, sarcastic, big heart, pissed off with everyone, everything, all the time. But he always seemed to know where to find a beer, and was always willing to share it. To the southwest, his command had pointed out what they thought was a promising drop zone.
Alright, I did call it in. Do you need to do it again? Huh. I can't seem to call it in for some reason now. Oh, there we go. Okay, north, the wind direction. So the plane. I don't know where the plane will come though from. Oh wait, that's the direction. Okay, so the wind is going up there. So where the plane, yeah, would come from the north, it'll be pushed up here, which would be the probably best part because it sort of won't land too far off in the woods here, I guess. I don't know though. So I'll just
Once he'd called in the airdrop, that
have
was
them
it. They just had to sit
go
tight,
this way.
hope for the best.
One thing I don't understand, what were they doing there, all the way up in the mountains?
The town, Oreo Castro, this place has historic ties with the guerrillas. For years, people here would provide them with food, water.
I see.
The government responded by draining the swamp.
And that involved sending soldiers?
Yeah, coin ops. Adams and his guys were there to remind him of their R2P.
Just a sec, I'm getting a bit lost in the lingo here.
Oh, gotcha. R2P is their responsibility to protect. Counterinsurgency can get real messy real quick. He was in charge of training, laws of armed conflict, that kind of thing. Adams normally tossed out an orange smoke grenade, which marked his position for the pilot.
We should be able to see the bird any minute here. Or not? Oh, there we go. Yeah, the view distance is a bit low because I had a few problems with some FPS.
So, these crates, were there a lot of them, or...?
No, just 4. One contained medicine, another fresh drinking water. The rest were packed with rice or grain. Adams had to inspect each one individually. Later, we'd arrange collection.
Parachutes! 100 meters front.
Right, let's go. Oh, actually one is right here, so we can... Oh. Inspect this one right away.
It wasn't uncommon for the sacks of grain to split on impact, but that time, we got lucky. He didn't lose a single one.
Oh, that was close.
Thankfully, the rice seemed okay.
Alright, let's see where the other crates are. Oh, over there.
The medical items, you can imagine how pleased we were to see those arrive.
So they landed safely?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
they
the
were
next
fine.
one should be further down here, I suppose. Is that? Oh no. I think they split.
Unfortunately, the crate containing water came down heavy. Most of the bottles inside had split open. As for the crates, they still needed to be checked before anyone else
Damn it.
arrived.
But I mean, I guess we can collect them anyways later. Wait, what? Defend against guerrilla ambush? What? Oh, the hell? Oh, there we go.
Now, the thing with airdrops, they're not exactly subtle. Smoke,
Damn it.
noise of the plane, those bright green parachutes, they're gonna get you noticed. And when you're in the middle of bandit country, that's a problem.
Oh, fuck. Right, that's a problem.
We got a man down.
Of course, I'm absolutely shit right now. Let me know my... Oh, god damn it. And I missed my geo. Why did they not go off? This should be engagement range. Okay, and I die. Oh god, I'm so terrible today. Alright, let's try this one again. We'll do
It
that
wasn't
one
uncommon
later.
for the sacks of grain to split on impact, but that time, we got lucky. He didn't lose a single one.
Almost.
Unfortunately, the crate containing water came down heavy. Most of the bottles inside had split open.
That looked so close.
The medical items, you can imagine how pleased we were to see those arrive.
So they landed safely.
Yeah, they were fine.
Dismount. Roger. Ready. Waiting. Move left. Wilco. Standing by.
Let's see if we can get a drop on the technicals. They should be arriving probably soon. Oh, there we are. There.
Now, the thing with airdrops, they're not exactly subtle. Smoke, noise of the plane, those bright green parachutes, they're gonna get you noticed. And when you're in the middle of bandit country, that's a problem.
He's down. Need help.
They don't see the last ones they're firing at. Maybe they jump behind the ledge. Oh wait, they shot fire at the driver.
The guerrillas attacked.
Yeah, from what I heard, it was pretty intense. I don't have the numbers, but maybe 6 or 7 were killed.
Shit, we got a man down.
Oh yeah, actually 2 down. Crap. Alright. I'll quickly secure the last crate and then get him to our vehicle. I don't know how much
Thankfully,
their
the rice seemed okay.
skill level is weighing in here, considering he
And what
said they're
happened when the supplies
recruits.
had been secured?
Adams would fire a flare.
Let me just get up here to the top.
We'd spot it from the town and dispatch a truck. Back at the camp, of course, we'd heard all the gunfire, but that flare, when we spotted it, I don't know, felt like finding a moment of hope or something.
Sure. I can only imagine. And thanks for sharing. It puts a human perspective on my work. Speaking of which, your friend, do you think he'd be willing to contribute further? Even, off the record, what with the topic of my article, having an expert, an instructor on the laws of war.
Look, I'm sorry. I know he'd help out however he could, but listen, he died on Stratus. Year and a bit later. Landmine.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't...
No, I hadn't planned to just land that on you. Hey, hold on just a sec. Something's come up here.